Child, Goblet of the Truth
Goblet of the Truth Index by Dr. Ron Pleune, drpleune@gmail.com.
Child maximum 3 children chapter 2 lines 270.
And if you beget offspring, then first consider whether you have the capability and possibility to bring up and feed children truly rightfully. And so it shall be that no illnesses are present for the offspring which they could inherit. Therefore it shall not be permitted for deracinated or asocial ones, and enemies of people or enemies of society, to have offspring. Nor shall it be permitted to those who use G-Volt, and those who threaten the life and safety of the people or terrorists, etc. Also, those who are incapable of bringing up and nourishing children, as well as those who are confused and sick in their inner world or consciousness, and in their psyche, as well as those with inherited illnesses, and those addicted to fermented juices and medicines and intoxicants or drugs or narcotics, shall not be allowed to beget offspring. Offspring shall only be permitted in the number of 3 per woman and in one marital bond. Therefore, the number of 3 offspring per woman also applies if a former bond has been dissolved and the letter of separation given, and if then a new bond is entered into. If a woman already has 1 child from a previous marital bond, then the number of 2 offspring shall not be exceeded in a further bond, so that the number of 3 children applies per woman.
Child molestation chapter 2 lines 269.
And the sexual misuse of children is a serious outrage and a shameful act against the children and the laws of the primal power or creation. Therefore, such an act is to be condemned with hard punishment of the execution of fulfillment of guidelines. A separation of men, or separation of women, or banishment and exclusion from the people's society, separated by gender, and with dishonor for the necessary time.
Child not consider property chapter 2 lines 260.
Just as children are no property of the parents, so no person of your kind or human being is the property of another. Therefore servitude or bondage, and slavery amongst people of your kind or human beings, contravene the honor and dignity of people of your kind or human beings, and infringe the laws and recommendations of the primal power or creation, and go against love, freedom, peace and concord or harmony, which have incontrovertible value as the basic principle of the existence, and contain both equitableness or fairness and dignity for people of your kind or humanity.
Child support after a divorce chapter 2 lines 278.
And those who have separated from the bond of marriage shall not be provided with any support, because each one goes their own way, woman and man. Therefore they are responsible for their own upkeep in the entire extent or scope, and neither the man shall pay for the upkeep of the woman, nor the woman for the upkeep of the man. If children have come forth from the bond of marriage, then the separated persons are equally obligated to pay for the upkeep of the children, therefore the mother by half and the father by half, because in no case shall only the mother or the father be responsible for the living costs and upkeep of the children, by means of which one parent would obtain benefits and advantages from the other, and if the mother or the father refuses to pay her or his half of the support for the children, then the legal process shall demand an accounting and half of the support for the children from the fallible mother or the fallible father. And if the fallible mother or the fallible father refuses nevertheless to uphold her or his duty, then the punishment shall be the fulfillment of guidelines in isolation from the people or society until the children have grown up or to adulthood, and the fallible one who acted in this wise shall be paid for the work they will have to provide to the extent that half of the support for the children is assumed, and their pay shall be given to the parent who is in charge of the children's upbringing and upkeep, and the children shall spend a certain number of days with the mother, and a certain number of days with the father for their upbringing and upkeep, because the children shall not be split between the parents in such a wise that any rejection or growing apart results. Therefore man and woman shall go their own ways in the separation or divorce of their bond of marriage and be responsible for their own upkeep to the full extent or scope, and, accordingly, half the upkeep of the children, so that neither party, woman or man, suffers disadvantages from the man paying to support the woman, or the woman paying to support the man, because even when the bond of marriage has been separated, man and woman have the same duties and rights, both as man and woman, and as mother and father.